Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. So we again welcome all the devotees in our summary study of Srimad Bhagavatam. So yesterday we discussed about the fourth canto, second part of the third canto and fourth canto. And we concluded with the pastime of Dhruv Maharaj. Such an instructive and important pastime of Dhruv Maharaj. It was one of the favorite pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, in the dynasty of Dhruv Maharaj, one of his descendant was Anga. This Anga was a very religious king, and under him all citizens were very happy. But there was one problem. Always in material world, there has to be some problem. It's like you are sitting on a nice bed, very costly bed made of nice soft cushions, but there is one pinprick. Srila Prabhupada writes in Srimad Bhagavatam that pinprick is the symptom of material world. There has to be some problem in each situation. So Anga had a problem that his son Vena was very demonic. From childhood only, this Vena was such a demonic person. He would throw other children in well. He would make them drown and kill them. He's such a demonic person. So the father was fed up with Vena. He tried everything to rectify his son, but nothing worked. As his age was growing, his tendencies to harm others, to trouble others was also increasing. Finally, when Vena was an adult, his atrocities increased so much that Anga decided that better let me leave this kingdom and go to forest and accept Vanaprastha. So Anga accepted that situation as a mercy of Lord. Any situation can be a blessing of the Lord in disguise. Somebody may lament, oh, my son is such a demonic person, but Anga didn't lament. Anga accepted as a mercy of Lord, and he went to forest and took Vanaprastha. But here, Vena became king. And when he became king, he started to exploit the citizens even more. The situation became so worst that all citizens went to the Brahmanas and told them that please help us. These Brahmanas went and stood in front of Vena. And they explained Vena that, look, you are a king. You are meant to be the servant of the citizens. You should serve them. But this Vena started to blaspheme the Brahmanas. As he started to blaspheme the Brahmanas by their power of mantra, by the power of their austerities, just all these Brahmanas, they made sound like who? Only they made this much sound and Vena was killed. They don't have to lift any weapons. That is the power of Brahmanas. Now when Vena was killed, there was no ruler for the kingdom. There was no king. And when there is no king, thieves and rogues started to trouble the citizens. So what to do? These Brahmanas churned the body of Vena. And from the body of Vena, two wonderful personalities appeared. One is Prithu Maharaj and his eternal consort Archi. Prithu Maharaj was the incarnation of the Lord. He was the empowered incarnation. Brahmanas coronated Prithu Maharaj. Different demigods came and they gave so many wonderful gifts to Prithu Maharaj. They all glorified Prithu Maharaj. Brahmanas were praising Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj stood up and he stopped them. Prithu Maharaj said, don't glorify me because I didn't do anything as yet. He was an honest ruler. He said, I don't want to take credit for what I didn't do. Because if you do that, you will also be blamed for what you didn't do. Many times people want to take credit. Sometimes we experienced when we were serving our spiritual master, People used to bring some foodstuffs and they used to offer him. And he would ask in a very neutral way, who cooked this? So people used to wait that if Maharaj will appreciate, I will tell I cooked. If Maharaj said he didn't like, then I'll tell somebody else's name. But he would speak in such a neutral way. Who cooked this? And then he will tell, I cooked. Then he will tell it is good or not bad. So in the same way, if you take credit for what you didn't do, you will also be blamed for what you didn't do. So we should not take unnecessary credit for ourselves. So Prithu Maharaj told that don't glorify me. Let me do something now. At that time, the biggest problem was earth stopped giving grains. Not only grains, earth stopped giving all minerals. Earth stopped giving anything which was necessary for living. So it was becoming very difficult. So Prithu Maharaj asked earth, why stopped giving her all grains and minerals? Earth said, these people on earth are sinful. They are not your devotees. They are becoming averse to God consciousness. I don't want to search such people. I will not supply any single of grain. Prithu Maharaj chastised earth. Prithu Maharaj said, I will cut your body. Earth was in the form of cow. Prithu Maharaj said, I will cut your body and feed to my citizens if you don't give them grains. Because it is not your job. It is my job to rectify them. It is God's job to rectify people. We can't take that in our hands. We can't roam around and chastise people. There are some religions who are based on this principle only. They said that you don't believe in our God, we will kill you. No, you don't have any right to kill others. You don't have any right to punish others. That is God's job. If you can't help anybody, you can't punish them also. Prithu Maharaj could chastise earth because Prithu Maharaj was Supreme Personality of God. He was incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And moreover, one who can love, he has all right to chastise. Prithu Maharaj was ready to take care of the whole earth. And because he was ready to take responsibility, he had all right to chastise also. Suppose we go to a bank and in our bank account, there is only 10,000 rupees. And we give somebody a check of 1 lakh rupees. What will happen? The check will bounce. Without investment, how you can withdraw? You can't withdraw more than what you invested. In the same way, somebody who cannot love, he can't chastise. You have to invest first. So Prithu Maharaj was responsible. He took responsibility of the whole earth and he told, it's my responsibility to rectify the citizens. But you do your job and you start giving rains. So after Prithu Maharaj's chastisement, the agriculture started. Before that, there was no agriculture. Earth used to give grains spontaneously. But after that, Prithu Maharaj told citizens that you should till the land and you should put the grains. And then with the seeds, the crops will come and you should harvest the crop. So this agriculture was started by Prithu Maharaj. And then Prithu Maharaj thought that I should make my citizens God conscious. So he thought best way to do that is by doing yajnas. So he assembled all the citizens and he started doing Ashwamedh Yajna. Ashwamedh Yajna was the highest category of yajna. In that, a ruler had to send a horse to the whole world. This horse would roam to the whole world. And all emperors, different kings would submit to this horse. And if they don't submit, then they have to fight with the host of the yajna. But Prithu Maharaj was the ruler of the whole world. So nobody dared to stop the horse. Everybody surrendered to the horse. And he did his first Ashwamedh Yajna for the betterment of the whole world. Then Brahmanas told him to do the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. Like that, Prithu Maharaj did 99 Ashwamedh Yajnas. But one person was not happy. Again, the pinprick. There can't be a straight story in material world. There has to be some adventure. So one person was not happy. He was Indra. Indra thought that this Prithu Maharaj will do 100 Ashwamedh Yajna. And one who does 100 Ashwamedh Yajna, he is eligible to become Indra. Another name of Indra is Shat Kritu. Kritu means Yajna or fire sacrifice, and Shat means 100. So one who does 100 sacrifices, he becomes Indra. So Indra became very insecure. He thought that my post will go. I need to do something. So as Prithu Maharaj was planning to do the 100th Yajna and the horse was released, Indra stole the horse. And he came in the form of a sadhu, in the form of a saintly person. The son of Prithu Maharaj was chasing Indra. He wanted to take the horse back. But Indra was changing his clothes again and again. He was becoming a different sadhu every time, just to distract the son of Prithu Maharaj. And Prithu Maharaj was also very pious. His son was very pious. So he thought, how can I attack a sadhu? See, that was Vedic culture. They can't attack a sadhu, saintly person. So he was not attacking him. So sadhu is not just by dress. Atri Rishi shouted, Atri Rishi warned Prithu Maharaj's son that, look, he's not sadhu, he is Indra. He's stealing the horse so that your father cannot do 100th yajna. Sadhu, yesterday also we were discussing that sadhu is not just by dress. Ravan came in the form of sadhu only to abduct Sita. In the same way, we can understand that Jatayu, Hanuman and others were not apparently in the form of a sadhu. They were not wearing saffron robes, but they were the pure devotees of the Lord. So as many times Indra changed his dress of different kind of sadhus, that many up-sampradayas started. We see so many kind of sadhus are roaming around, and there's so many up-sampradayas. They all are started by Indra's fancy dress competition was so successful that so many sadhus started to imitate the real saintly personalities. So just like there is always an imitation product to the real product, there are also imitation sadhus and there are real sadhus. So when Atri Rishi told that, Prithu Maharaj himself went to kill Indra. Brahmanas told that, Prithu Maharaj, you don't need to kill Indra. We will do the needful. We will put such oblation in fire that Indra will come and he will be burned himself. So then Lord Brahma thought, this is becoming serious. Lord Brahma came. And to our surprise, Brahma didn't go to Indra. Brahma came to Prithu Maharaj. Brahma went to Prithu Maharaj and told, Prithu Maharaj, please stop this 100th yajna. Now somebody may ask that this is not justice. Indra made a mistake. Why Prithu Maharaj was stopped? We tell things to those who listen. Like there are two children to parents. One is elder, one is younger. If they fight, whom parents explain? Parents tell the elder one, you are elder, you should not do like this. You should cooperate. In the same way, Indra was acting like a young child, as an adamant child. But Prithu Maharaj was mature. So Guru won't tell things to everyone. Sometimes Guru is fearful to correct us. He may just give us nice garlands, he may give nice, smiles, and we are happy that, oh, Guru is very happy with us. No. Real mercy of Guru is when he starts to chastise, when he can correct you without any fear. That is real mercy. So Brahma was confident that Prithu Maharaj will listen his words. Therefore, Brahma came and corrected Prithu Maharaj. Darkest day in our spiritual life will be when we stop taking advices. This will be darkest day in our spiritual life. When devotees will give us advice, they will give us corrections and we will not listen. That will be the start of our fall down. So, Prithu Maharaj decided to stop the yajna. Brahma tells Prithu that, Prithu, think with a cool head. Now you may be angry, but think with a cool head. That did you actually do this yajna for getting post of Indra? Did you actually want to be a ruler of heaven? Or you wanted to just please Krishna? Do you want to sit on the throne of Indra? Or you want to sit on the throne of Krishna's heart? Where you want to sit? We should ask this question to ourselves. Sometimes we are so attached to justice. No, that person did wrong with me. Why nothing is happening to that person? Why I am suffering? Doesn't matter. This material world, anyway, has not to be taken seriously. Generally, we plan a lot how our life should be. And when things go against our plan, we feel morose, we feel depressed. But we should think that any plan will only work when Krishna will sanction it. We should think that whatever is happening in my life is Krishna's desire. So we should not think and lament about unsuccessful plan. Neither we should daydream about future plans. We should plan, but we should be confident that if only Krishna wants, this thing will happen. And the secret is, in material world, if some task is complete, then only you are considered to be successful. But in a spiritual world, even if the task is not successful, but if we submit and listen to Krishna's desire, then we are successful. We don't need to finish the task. When Srila Prabhupada went to America, he never thought that he will create such a big society. He was just thinking that I am already 70 years old. My Guru Maharaj told me to preach in Western countries. Let me just go. Even if I die on the ship, doesn't matter. My Guru Maharaj will be pleased. Krishna will be pleased. My life will be successful. That was Prabhupada's mood. So it's not that we have to finish the task. Sometimes we are asked to do some service and we straight away say, no, I can't do it. At least we should try. Even if we are not able to finish that task, that endeavor will please Parampara. That endeavor will please spiritual master. That endeavor will please Krishna. So apparently, Prithu Maharaj may not have completed that 100th yajna, but Krishna was pleased. So somebody may say that what we should do. If somebody is envious to us, should we stop that work? Like Indra was envious. Prithu had to stop the 100th yajna. So suppose you are preaching Krishna consciousness. Somebody is envious to you. Should you stop preaching? Is that the lesson from this story? No. Lesson is, whatever is asked to you, do that. Brahma told Prithu Maharaj, stop. He stopped. If Brahma told, no, you do it, he would have done it. That is bhakti. Bhakti means accepting the orders of a spiritual master as it is. That is bhakti. Because Vaishnavism is much above right and wrong. In material world, we have concept of right and wrong. Justice. Somebody should be punished. Somebody should be rewarded. If we want justice, Krishna may give us justice. But if we really want Krishna, then we have to forget everything else. Just Krishna. Idam Krishna, idam namama. Nothing for me. Everything is for Krishna. So whatever Krishna wants me to do, I will do that. Prithu Maharaj accepted, and as a result of unfinished yajna, Lord Vishnu personally appeared. Look, 99 yajnas he completed, Vishnu didn't appear. But this 100th yajna was not completed, and Lord Vishnu appeared himself. And to test Prithu Maharaj, Vishnu brought Indra with him. And not only simply embracing Indra. Vishnu was keeping his hand on Indra's shoulder. And Vishnu brought Indra with him. Such a test. See, first of all, it was not at all Prithu's fault. And Prithu accepted to stop the yajna. And now, the person who was reason for this, Vishnu is bringing him with him. How much test it is? So test is also taken as per the level of person. As our bhakti increase, the level of test will also increase. Krishna will not test us like Pandavas. He knows that if he tests like that, we will leave devotional service. So whatever difficulties are coming in our life, we should be confident that yes, it is from the syllabus. It is not beyond our syllabus. It is our capacity to handle that problem. But if we fail in that test, then same test comes again and again. If somebody fails in third grade, then he has to do third grade again. In the same way, if we fail in certain situation, same test will come with little different details. But every time we pass the test, we go closer to Krishna. So when challenge comes, we should take it as an opportunity. Yes, this test is coming. If I pass it, I'll go closer to Krishna. So Vishnu wanted Prithu to forgive Indra. This is again, forgiveness is an ornament of Vaishnava. Titikshva, Karunika. He must be tolerant. And tolerance means forgiveness. Prithu Maharaj embraced Indra. And when Prithu Maharaj embraced Indra, Lord Vishnu was pleased. If we really want to go back to Godhead, we have to adopt this mode. We can't keep grudges for anybody. Because Lord Vishnu will never be pleased. Krishna will never be pleased. Krishna wants us to cooperate. Srila Prabhupada's final instruction was also the same. Srila Prabhupada said, your love will be shown by how you cooperate with each other. If we can't cooperate, then Krishna will not be pleased. So Lord Vishnu was so much pleased when Prithu Maharaj cooperated. Prithu Maharaj forgiven Indra, he embraced Indra. See, sometimes when we see clashes in devotee community, we may tend to feel that, what is the difference? This happens in outside world also, this happens in Krishna consciousness also. Like one time, we went to Vrindavan Yatra, and there was a bus taking devotees to different places. So one young devotee was sitting in the front row of the bus. One elderly devotee came, and he started to tell this younger devotee that, you all should sit at the back. You should give elder devotees seat to sit in the front. So this younger devotee told, no, my feet is having some wound. I can't sit at the back. And they both started fighting. He said, no, I am elder, I should win. This younger said, no, I should sit. Both started fighting. So there was a third person who came in Yatra for the first time. He became bewildered. He said, what is the difference? Outside people also fight. The devotee also fighting. What is the difference? So he asked this to one devotee who was in charge of the Yatra. He said, Prabhuji, what is the difference? They're fighting like karmi people. The devotee said, wait for some time. Finally, this bus reached the spot where they were supposed to go. And then this new devotee came down with the preacher. And now this Prabhuji showed, look what is happening there. That elder devotee and younger devotee were trying to touch each other's feet. Please forgive me. I didn't do appropriately. It is my mistake. He was, no, it's my mistake. No, it's my mistake. So this devotee told, look, what happened in the bus happens in material world also, in devotee community also. But what is happening now is this only happens in devotee community. So this is the speciality. Mistakes everybody can do. Devotees can also do mistakes. But after doing mistakes, when we come together, we ask forgiveness. We forgive each other. We cooperate with each other. That pleases Lord the most. Sacrifice means, that is real sacrifice. It's not about burning fire. Real sacrifice means giving up our independence. Offering horse are easy. Ashwamedha yagya. Offering a horse in sacrifice is easy. But stopping the horses of our senses, that is difficult. Offering that to Krishna is difficult. So Prithu Maharaj did that yagya. And he became very, very pleased, very, very dear to Lord Vishnu. Prithu Maharaj realized that he was Krishna's servant. And this realization was much more higher. There is no comparison to this achievement than the throne of Indra. Alpakari na mani ho, das hai no naam, swalpa bhag ke nahi das kare Bhagavan. Don't consider that this title of das, this title of a servant, is a small thing. Don't think it's a small thing, insignificant thing. Swalpa bhagya nahi das kare na Bhagwan. Krishna doesn't accept unfortunate people, less fortunate people as his servant. If Krishna accepted somebody as das or dasi, that means he is most fortunate person. So Prithu Maharaj accepted the guidance of Brahma and he became completely established in a swarup of Krishna Nityadas, eternal servant of Krishna. So we all need guidance. See, at the level of Indra, Indra is not ordinary person. Prithu Maharaj was an incarnation. Then also they needed guidance. So we can't say that we don't need guidance. We all need guidance. We will make mistakes. But the association of devotees will give us shelter. We will make mistakes in bhakti, and the process of bhakti will only help us to stand back. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says a simple example that if a child falls on ground, he takes help of ground only to stand back. In the same way, we make mistakes in our bhakti, this association of devotees will only inspire us to stand back. We can't say that, oh, I make mistake, now my mind is so bad, I am ruined all my relationship, I am going away from Krishna consciousness. Who will help you outside? The devotee association will only help. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada encouraged all devotees that stay in ISKCON, no matter whatever happens, never leave ISKCON. When we never leave devotee association, then we always have guidance. And when we have this guidance, our mistakes can be rectified. And then we can have presence of Lord Krishna in our life, just like Prithu Maharaj is witnessing Lord Vishnu's presence face to face. After that, what happened? When Lord is merciful, he gives a special gift. After you see Krishna, what is the next step? Krishna gives a special gift, devotee association. This is Krishna's special gift. When Lord Hanuman went to Lanka in the search of Sita, he saw in the Brahma Muhurta time, all demons were asleep. But one particular house, person was awake, there was lamp, the light of a lamp was coming out from window, and there was soft sound of chanting Lord Ram's name. So Hanuman went to that house. He was astonished. How can there be somebody chanting Lord's Ram name in Lanka? When he went there, it was the house of Vibhishan. Vibhishan welcomed Hanuman. And Hanuman introduced himself. Vibhishan introduced himself. Then Hanuman was glorifying Vibhishan. Hanuman was saying that you are real devotee. See, we are living in association of so many devotees. So practicing Krishna consciousness is easy. But you are living in the midst of demons. Just like the tongue lives in between the teeth. Anytime teeth can bite the tongue. In the same way, you are living in the midst of demons. Anytime they can affect you. But then also you are practicing Krishna consciousness, a big thing. So Hanuman asked Vibhishan his realization. What did you get after doing such devotional service? What is the result of doing such steady devotional service, that too in the midst of such adverse, provoking situations? Vibhishan said, the result is standing in front of me. Today you came in front of me, that is the result. When Lord Ram became pleased with me, then only he sent you. So how we can understand Lord is happy with us? He will give more and more devotee association. He will give more and more opportunity to serve the devotees. So Lord Vishnu was pleased with Prithu Maharaj. What was the result? In Prithu Maharaj's palace, 4 divine personalities came. Who were there 4 divine personalities? They were Chatur Kumaras, 4 Kumaras. 5-year-old little boys were the pure devotees of Lord. These 4 Kumaras came. Prithu Maharaj made them sit on his throne. Although throne is meant for one person, but they are little boys. So all 4 of them sat on one seat. And Prithu Maharaj washed their feet. He took the water which were washed their feet on his head, and Prithu Maharaj started to glorify these four Kumaras. He begged four Kumaras that please tell me about Krishna. Share your realizations about Krishna. Tell me Krishna Katha. And he said very important thing. Sa uttama shloka mahan mukhochato bhavat padam bhoj sudha kanalina. He said that from the mouth of pure devotees, there comes saffron particles. There are drops of saffron particles. What are these saffron particles? These saffron particles are the lotus feet of the Lord. In Lord's lotus feet, there is saffron. And that saffron particles comes to this material world from the mouths of pure devotees. So when pure devotees speak, there is this rain of saffron particles. So please enrich me. Please, make me wet with that rain of saffron particles. I want to hear from you. There can't be any greater benediction than opportunity to hear from the pure devotees of Lord. So please speak Harikatha to me. See, Prithu Maharaj, we should not forget that he is Lord's Shaktavesh avatar, empowered incarnation. He also wants to hear Krishna Katha. So how much we should be eager to hear from devotees of the Lord. So these four Kumaras share wonderful realizations in his spiritual life. And then Prithu Maharaj and Archi took Vanaprastha and subsequently went back to Godhead. Then comes in their dynasty another wonderful person, Prachini Barhi. This Prachini Barhi was very pious king. He was so pious that he used to do so many yagyas. And so much so that in his kingdom, at every second step, there was a yagya. Like if you walk in his kingdom, every second step, there was a fire sacrifice. Such pious king. But problem was, he was so absorbed in this yagyas that he forgot to practice pure devotional service. He became so attached to karma kanda that he was not at all cautious, not at all attentive to practice pure Krishna consciousness. He sent his 10 sons to learn, to do austerities and come back so that they can become good rulers. So these 10 sons of Prachini Bhari were named as Prachetas. These Prachetas were sent to jungle, to the forest, and the Prachetas went there to do austerities. But their good fortune was they met the pure devotee of Lord. They met Param Vaishnav. Who is the highest Vaishnav? Who is the greatest Vaishnav? Lord Shiva. Thus these 10 Prachetas met Lord Shiva. He is white as camphor. His body is fragrant. He is all auspicious. That is Lord Shiva. And he is Ashutosh. He became pleased very quickly. So as soon as he saw these 10 sons of Prachini Bhari, Lord Shiva became very merciful to see these young boys. And Lord Shiva came and gave them beautiful instructions on Krishna consciousness, which is called as Rudra Gita. Just like we have Bhagavad Gita, this is Rudra Gita, where Rudra means Lord Shiva is describing the glories of Lord. And Lord Shiva describes the beautiful form of Krishna, how beautiful Krishna is. And he makes a point. He says that Krishna's form is so beautiful, so transcendental, that it can satisfy all the senses. We are running after satisfying the senses, but we are not satisfied. Only Krishna's form is so beautiful that if you just have darshan of the deity of Lord, your all senses can be satisfied. So Lord Shiva inspires Prachetas to meditate on the form of Krishna. Therefore, from the beginning days of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada established deities. These deities are very important for devotional service. They capture our attention. They divert our attention from materialistic view to spiritual view. We are so attached to our bodies, but when we look toward deity, when we get attracted towards the deities, we slowly get attracted to Krishna's form. Therefore, deities are very important for devotional service. Prabhupada installed deities in such areas where they have no clue of deity worship. Like in Africa, there was one temple and there was beautiful deities of Radha Krishna. So some dacoits broke into the temple and Pujari was doing arti. So these dacoits said that, give us all the money, otherwise we'll kill you. The Pujari said, let me just finish arti, then you can kill me. I don't have any money. So these dacoits were waiting. And this Pujari finished the arti. And then he came off the altar. So these dacoits thought that how he can be so serious to worship these dolls? What is so special about these dolls? So these dacoits asked this Pujari, who are these dolls? The Pujari said, this is Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. And who is this white doll next to him? He said, this is Radharani, Krishna's wife. So these dacoits became very happy. A black person is having white wife. So they became very happy in Africa and they left. They said, yeah, this temple is nice, that blacks are not distinguished. The black person is having white wife. So who will be inspired in what way? We don't know. But these deities are so potent. They attract our heart. See, therefore, deity worship is established by all our acharyas. We may sometimes think that why there's so many temples, why so many deities? But actually, temples give opportunity for devotees to come out of their comfort zone. If there are no deities, nobody will celebrate festivals. If there are no deities, nobody will maintain that kind of standards for offering bhoga or cleanliness and other things. Deities give that service and opportunity to devotees to become more sincere, more committed. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, their description about Govinda Dev temple, which was established by Rupa Goswami and later built by Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes that Saharsa Sahasra Sevak, hundreds and thousands of servants would serve Govinda Dev with gold, silver and whatnot. Maybe now that kind of opulence is not there, but Govind Dev is so clever. He will arrange his new servants. He will be there for eternity. He will be playing his flute. Now he shifted to Jaipur. And we can see in Jaipur how thousands and thousands of people come every day to take darshan of Govinda Dev. So if Rupa Goswami would have not established Govinda Dev, what would have happened to these millions of people over centuries who are taking benefit of Govinda Dev? So these deities are so important. Lord Shiva tells Prachetas that you meditate on Lord's form. His lotus feet are so nectarian. His whole body is so sweet. His lotus face is the epitome of beauty. Just focus on it. People say that Lord Shiva is God. If they really accept him as God, they should accept his instructions described in Bhagavatam. Lord Shiva instructs to meditate on Lord Krishna. Then Narada saw that these 10 sons are nicely guided by Lord Shiva, but their poor father is still doing yagyas. He is bereft of all knowledge about devotional service. So Narada thought, let us help him. So when he went to Prachini Bhari's kingdom, he saw so many sacrifices. And he could understand that Prachini Bhari was very proud of his karma kanda. And if Narad would tell him directly that you are doing nonsense, he would never accept his instructions. So Narada thought, let us tell him indirectly. So Narada comes to Prachini Bhari and says, Prachini Bhari, I want to tell you one nice story. Prachini Bhari also said, yes, I am very tired. So many yagyas every day. It's nice break for me. Tell me some story. So Narad Muni tells that Prachini Bhari, there was one person named Puranjan. And this Puranjan used to live in a city which had 9 gates. And he was always busy to take care of this city. He would roam around in this city and he would think that he is very happy. One day, this Puranjan meets one woman named Puranjani and he marries that woman. But what happened? They couldn't live happily in that city for a long time. There was one person called Chandavega, and this Chandavega attacked that city of 9 gates. Prachini Bhari was listening with rapt attention. Oh, the city was attacked. Then what happened to Puranjan? Chandavega killed Puranjan. But because Puranjan was very attached to his wife, in next life Puranjan became a woman. Next life he became Puranjani. And then he married one husband, one Pandya king. And they both started to live nicely. But then in his next life also, the husband died. And this Puranjani was crying, lamenting on the funeral of her husband. But this time, an unknown friend came to enlighten Puranjani. This unknown friend came near and started to speak wonderful instructions to Puranjani that look, life after life you are getting attached, and that is leading to your more and more bondage in material world. If you really want to be attached to Krishna. So when Puranjani hears these instructions, she give up all attachments and she focus on Lord Hari and go back to Godhead. Prachini Bari said, Narad Muni, it seems it is my story. Narad Muni said, yes, you understood. This is your story only. That Puranjan is none other than soul. And this soul lives in the city of 9 gates. That means body. This body has 9 holes. So this body is considered to be city of 9 gates. And that woman whom Puranjan married was intelligence. Soul takes help of intelligence to plan so many things in this material world, especially with regards to his body. But then one day, he is attacked with Chandavega. Who is Chandavega? Is Kal, death. Death attacks that city. And then Puranjan had to leave the city. So soul will suffer as long as he will be attached. And in next life, who was the unknown friend? That unknown friend is Guru. And Guru comes in life and he enlightens that how long you will suffer. So many lifetimes you try to enjoy, but you saw that you are not happy. Now offer one life to Krishna. When you offer this one life to Krishna, then no more entanglement in the material world. You will go back to Krishna. So this is Guru. So indirect chastisement. Narad Muni gave him, and Prachini Bari also understood the point and he became devotee. Sometimes in preaching, preacher has to do these things. Like one time Prabhupada was giving a lecture and one reporter came and he was challenging Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, why your devotees are always distributing books? And they are reading books, distributing books, reading books, distributing books. They became like bookworm. Prabhupada said it's better to become a bookworm than stoolworm. Then the reporter understood, oh, he's telling me only. I am stoolworm. I am not reading books. So sometimes preacher has to tell indirectly. But this is compassion of Narad Muni that he want to elevate everybody. So here these 10 prachetas were doing austerities, but Prachini Bari didn't wait. Oh, my 10 sons will come back, then I will go vanaprastha. He said, I understood now what is the goal of my life. Let my 10 sons come back, they will take care of kingdom. Without their returning only, he left. He said, Krishna will take care of everything. Let me perfect my life. So he left and he took vanaprastha, and later he surrendered himself fully to Krishna's lotus feet. Here these 10 prachetas were doing austerities underwater, and Lord Vishnu became pleased. Lord Vishnu appeared and he told these 10 prachetas that I am very, very pleased. So prachetas thought that maybe Lord Vishnu is pleased with our austerities. But Lord Vishnu said, no, I am pleased with your austerities, but more than your austerities, I am pleased with your cooperation. The way you are cooperating with each other, 10 of you living together, sharing the same name, prachetas. We don't know what are individual names of prachetas. They are sharing the same name also. So I am very pleased by your cooperation. And then Lord Vishnu blessed the prachetas. Prachetas come out of water. They marry the daughter of moon, Marichi. And from prachetas and Marichi, Daksha was born. We already discussed about Daksha in last canto. Then Narad Muni further instructs prachetas to become completely surrendered on Lord, and then prachetas also became pure devotees. Now, Maitri Rishi was telling all these stories to Vidur. After Vidura heard this, how Narad Muni is preaching and Narad Muni is so compassionate, he went to Prachinivari, he went to Prachitas, Vidura remembered about Dhritarashtra. So Maitreya would have spoken more, but Vidura said, no, now I will go and help Dhritarashtra. This is a devotee's mood. It's not that we just have to sit and do our bhajan, no. Prabhupada wanted service now, samadhi later. That was Prabhupada's mood. How much we will hear? We have to do some practical job. Prabhupada was in Vrindavan 10 years. After he left home, he took sannyas. Prabhupada was 10 years in Vrindavan. And Prabhupada was studying literature. He was writing literature. He was serving Radha Damodar. He would visit so many prominent temples of Vrindavan. All Brajvasis loved Prabhupada. Prabhupada loved all Brajvasis. But then time came when he left Vrindavan. Just like Krishna went to Mathura. Why Krishna went to Mathura? Krishna went to Mathura because he wanted to establish dharma. He was happy in Vrindavan, but he left and went to Mathura. In the same way, Srila Prabhupada left Vrindavan. He came to Delhi, he came to Mathura, different cities. Then he went to Jhansi. Nothing worked. Prabhupada left for America. He went to Bombay also before that. So Prabhupada taught us that it's not time for only hearing. It's time for doing some practical activity. There will be a time, the time will come when our senses will not work, our body will not support. That time we only have to chant and hear. But now Krishna has given us some power. We should engage in his practical service. And that was the mood set by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada one time told his devotees in America that we should have a World Sankirtan party. So Hansadut Maharaj was there. He heard this, Prabhupada's desire. He thought that, yes, Prabhupada will be pleased. I will hire a bus. So he was not having much money. So he got a second-hand bus. So that bus was so worn out. That bus was so old. It had no seat inside, no sitting seat. And whole bus was shaking. And he brought that bus to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada went inside the bus. He said, where I will sit? So then Hansadutta Maharaj brought one chair from temple and he kept in middle of the bus for Prabhupada to sit. Now, Prabhupada sat, but then Prabhupada said, when bus will move, this chair will topple. So two big sannyasi, Brahmananda Prabhu and Garga Muni Prabhu caught hold of the chair from two sides. Prabhupada was sitting. And when bus started, bus was releasing so much smoke and whole bus was making sound except the horn. So Prabhupada told Hansadutta Maharaj, this bus is like Indian bus. Hansadutta Maharaj thought that maybe Prabhupada is glorifying. Prabhupada is comparing my bus to Indian bus. After 3 years, when Hansadutta Maharaj came to India, he saw what is Indian bus. Then he understood that Prabhupada was actually chastising me. But Prabhupada still appreciated them because these devotees were so fired up with the spirit of preaching. That is our real wealth. That we do something for parampara. We should be productive for the parampara. Suppose if I plant a tree and I water it for years, say 10 years, tree is just growing, but not a single leaf came, not a single bud came, not a single flower, not a single fruit. How will I feel? I'll say such a useless tree, I would have planted something else. In the same way, so much is given to us, but there is no productivity. We are not doing anything for parampara. And what is the use? We should be productive in Krishna consciousness. Whatever Krishna has given, it's not that we have to do big things like Hanuman, but we have to do something practical for Krishna's service. Gaurar ami, mukhe bole nahi chale. Gaurar achar, gaurar vichar, loile phale phale. It's not that just by speaking verbally that I am Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's follower, I am Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's follower. That will not work. Gaurar achar, gaurar vichar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings, we have to accept. We have to assist in his mission. Then beautiful fruits of realization will come in our life. So that is very important teaching that Prabhupada taught through Vidura. Vidura went back. He heard Bhagavatam, and he went back to deliver Dhritarashtra. That although I was insulted in that same palace, doesn't matter. I will go and deliver Dhritarashtra. That is practical service to Krishna and Parampara. So after that, in 5th canto, there starts the glories of Sadhu Sangha. 5th canto is very important. It gives very important instructions. Narottam Das Thakur says, Chhadiya Vaishnava Seva Nistara Paive Kiva. Without devotional service, without service to the Vaishnavas, how we will get rid of the clutches of material nature? 5th canto describes very nice pastimes of Bharat Maharaj, Priyavrat Maharaj and others. So we'll discuss them in short. Priyavrat Maharaj was brother of Uttanpad. I hope you remember Uttanpad. Uttanpad was father of Dhruva. He was the son of Manu. Manu had 2 sons, Uttanpad and Priyavrat. So this is the Priyavrat. Priyavrat was so detached that he left everything and he became a mendicant. He would hear Krishna Katha for hours together from Narad, and he would do austerities. He was a celibate, he was a brahmachari, and he had no plans to go into material world. He had no plans to become a grihastha. He was having no plans to become a ruler. But Manu saw there is no one else to rule this world. So Manu went to Brahma, and Manu told that, see, Priyavrat became a mendicant, but we want him to rule. So let us go and meet Narad to tell him that Priyavrat had to rule this world. So Manu and Brahma both came, and in presence of Narad, they spoke to Priyavrat that, Priyavrat, you need to rule this world. We know that you have no desire to rule this world. You don't want to be in the clutches of material nature. But this is the need. This is the service you have to do. And Priyavrat accepted. This is the pure teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. This Puran is Nirmal Puran, Amal Puran, no contamination. It will only teach pure devotional service. If you want to learn politics, you can hear Mahabharata. But if you really want to hear pure devotional service, then Bhagavatam is the scripture. It will never talk about Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha. It will only talk about pure devotional service. Here Priyavrat Maharaj gave up his renunciation, so-called renunciation, and became a pounds and shilling man, as Prabhupada would say, as a materialistic person externally, just for the desire of Brahma and Manu. So we should not be attached. Real sacrifice means sacrificing our free will. If Krishna wants us to live in a palace, we should not be attached to live in jungle. And Krishna wants to live us in jungle, we should not be attached to the palace. Sometimes people say, oh, look at 6 Goswamis. They were so detached. They left everything. They were living under trees. I will also live like that. 6 Goswamis didn't practice renunciation. 6 Goswamis just did what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted them to do. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them, go to Vrindavan and live there. And they just followed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have told them, no, live in Puri and help Prataparudra in his kingdom, they would have done that. That is devotional service. Now we have to meditate what our Guru had told us. What Srila Prabhupada expects us to do. Many times people say that, oh, I read in that book. I read in that Goswami book. I read in such and such book. We are not at that level. We just have to do what our Guru wants us to do. Srila Prabhupada wanted us to preach. He made temples where there are more people. He didn't want us to live in a secluded place and chant. He criticized that. Prabhupada said, live in between the city, live in between the people and preach Krishna consciousness. This is called Acharya Nishtha. When we do that Acharya Nishtha, that is real renunciation. Renunciation is not the color of dress. It's not renunciation. Renunciation means giving up our free will, giving up our own plans and synchronizing our plans with Krishna's plan. Just like in radio, there is this knob which you move and you match frequency. And if you are not in the perfect frequency, there will be this mosquito sound. And when you match the perfect frequency, then the sound will come. That maybe your favorite song will come. So we have to tune our desire with Krishna's desire. If little bit also it is here and there will be disturbance. If it is perfect match with Krishna's desire, then it will be nice. So if you really want to live nicely, we have to tune our desires with Parampara's desire, with Krishna's desire, with Guru's desire. Srila Prabhupada was in Bhubaneswar one time, and he gave this work of translating his books in Odia language to Gaur Govinda Maharaj. So Prabhupada asked Gaur Govinda Maharaj that, how is translation going? So Gaur Govinda Maharaj said, Prabhupada, there's so much managerial service here. I'm not able to give time for my translation. So Gaur Govinda Maharaj, Prabhupada said that you can give management to anybody, but I told you to translate my books, to do that. Gaur Govinda Maharaj said, Prabhupada, I don't have anybody, please help me. So there was one American devotee, he was just walking nearby. So Prabhupada called him, come. Now that devotee was supposed to leave for New York the next day. He already booked his flight. Prabhupada told that you should stay here and help in management so that Gaur Govinda can translate my books in Odia. And that devotee became completely shattered. He already booked his flight for New York next day. He told Prabhupada, I booked my ticket. Prabhupada said, you cancel your ticket. He said, but Prabhupada, the weather of India doesn't suit me. Prabhupada said, this is because you are not staying for a long time. If you stay for a long time in India, weather will be suit. You will become adaptable to the weather of India. Then he thought, Bapre, what to tell? He said, Prabhupada, food, I don't have any idea about Indian food, and I eat some things and I get diarrhea. Prabhupada said, no problem. I'll give you a list, what to eat, what not to eat. You just follow that, you'll never become sick. Then he said, but Prabhupada, there's another seva in New York waiting for me. I need to handle that. Prabhupada said, don't worry, I'll write letter to temple president there. They will give that seva to somebody else. Then he said, Prabhupada, actually, I don't like Indian GVC. Mera GVC, I don't get along with GVC. Prabhupada said, I'll change GVC. But you stay and serve here. Then he released Brahmastra. That devotee thought that I'll give such a logic that Prabhupada will accept my word. He said, Prabhupada, I'm not able to chant 16 rounds. If I stay in India, there's so many services, I'm not able to chant my 16 rounds. Better I go New York and I peacefully chant there. Prabhupada said, no need to chant 16 rounds. Okay. You stay here and serve. See, so much Prabhupada had to tell him. This is not the mood of a disciple. Disciple means anything, anytime, anywhere. This should be motto of disciple. Anything you tell him, anywhere, anytime. That should be disciple. Like there's another positive example of a Prabhupada disciple. She was Mandakini Mataji. She used to live in Europe. In a small temple, she was happily serving there. One day, she heard in Prabhupada's lecture that if your spiritual master asks you to do something and you agree it without a second thought, that is surrender. And she used to pray to deities every day that, my dear Lord, if Prabhupada asked me to do some challenging task, impossible task, give me power to just say yes. He would pray that to deities every day. And that only happened in her life. One day Prabhupada called her, Mandakini, I want you to go to Russia. There is a boy, Antali, Ananta Shanti. Marry him. Imagine, here is a French girl, 17, 18 years old girl. And she had to go to Russia, which was a communist country that time. If you practice Krishna consciousness there, you would be put behind bars. And you have to marry an unknown boy from different culture. She didn't know French. She didn't know Russian. That devotee didn't know French. And such a difficult task. But as she was praying to deities every day, without thinking, she said, yes, Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, okay, I'll book your flight. Leave tomorrow. Next day, Mandakini Mataji left for Russia. And this Ananta Shanti Prabhu was the only devotee in Russia at that time. Prabhupada preached one devotee and he initiated him. 3 days Prabhupada lived in Russia. He preached one devotee and he initiated him also. So that one devotee was there. And this girl, 17, 18-year-old girl, who had no experience of the world, who don't know language of that country, who don't know anything, and practicing Krishna consciousness was banned in that country. She just goes there and marries that boy. What kind of dedication? And not only this, their parents, Ananta Shantiprabhu's parents, used to eat meat and things. In fridge, everything they used to keep. She tolerated everything. What was the result? By this one couple, there was so much preaching in Russia. Now in one festival in Russia, in each city, the 15-20,000 Russians come. Imagine if this girl would have not accepted Prabhupada's word, we would have not seen these results today in Russia. This is the power of Guru Bhakti. This is the power of surrender to the spiritual master. Yesterday also we were hearing from Srila Prabhupada's song. He told his spiritual master that today I am making you this offering. I am burning my free independence. I am offering my free will to you. That is Krishna consciousness. So like that, Priyavrat Maharaj's example is very, very important for devotees, where they learn to sacrifice their own plans and just accept what Guru wants them to do. After that, there comes description of another wonderful king, King Nabhi. This Nabhi was also very pious king, and as his son, Lord came in the form of Lord Rishabdev. Lord Rishabdev is also incarnation of the Lord. And Lord Rishabdev had 100 sons. Lord Rishabdev instructed his 100 sons, and that is description in 5th canto. Prabhupada would quote it many, many times in his lecture and books, especially the verse, Nayam deho deha bhajan loke, kashtan kaman arhate vid bhujande, tapo divyam putra kaena sattvam, shuddhet yasmad brahma sokhyam tu anantam. Rishabdev teaches his sons that, my dear children, don't run for cheap bodily enjoyment. These bodily enjoyment is available to even animals. But if you really want to progress in your life, tapo divyam putra kaena sattvam, do tapasya, do austerities, and situate yourself in shattvam, in mode of goodness. Then when you become purified, you will feel Brahma Sokhyam tu Anantam. You'll feel eternal bliss of Krishna consciousness in your heart. So one time, Srila Prabhupada was discussing this verse, and after that, Prabhupada went on a walk. So devotees were going with Prabhupada. And Prabhupada and devotees saw some young teenagers, boys and girls, they were playing in mud. There's some games in America, they put a lot of mud with water, and they play in that. They throw mud on each other and they put mud on each other, and it's very nasty game. So Prabhupada saw it from distance, and the devotee came in front and told Prabhupada, these boys and girls, they'll become pigs in next life, right? Prabhupada said, why next life? In this life only they are pig. They are acting like pig only. So Nayam deho deho bhajan loke kashtam kaman arhate vid bhujamte. This life is not for living like hogs and dogs. This life is for tapo divyam, for doing austerity, situated in mode of goodness, and become devotee of Lord. So he was doing his duty perfectly as a father. Then this famous verse comes where Rishabdev says, Guru na sasyat, sajano na sasyat, Pita na sasya, janani na sasya, Daivam na tatsyan, na pitascha sasyan, na mochayed yam samupetam mrityum. He said, my dear children, why I am instructing you like this? Why I am telling you to practice devotional service? Because if I don't do that, I am not your real father. A guru is not guru who cannot deliver his disciple. Relatives are not real relatives who cannot help us to become a devotee of Lord. That mother, father are not real mother, father who cannot make children their devotee. That demigods are not demigods who can deliver the conditioned soul. That husband is not husband who can help his wife to become devotee. So this is the instruction of Rishabdev. We saw examples in Bhagavatam and Ramayana, other scriptures also. Guru na sasyat. Bali Maharaj rejected his guru because Shukracharya was stopping him to surrender to Vishnu. Sajano na sasyat. Gopis rejected all relatives because they were hurdle in Krishna's service. Pita na sasyat. Prahlad Maharaj rejected his pita, his father. Janani na sasyat. Bharat Maharaj rejected his mother, Kekai. I don't want to call you as mother. You give so much. You have sent Ram and Janaki to forest. How cruel you are. You sent them. Bharat rejected Kekai. Devam na tasyat. Brajvasis rejected Indra. They rejected demigod for Krishna. And Pati na sasyat. Dvija patnis. In Bhagavad, the description of Dvija patnis, the wives of the Brahmanas, they were doing yagyas in forest. When Krishna Balaram sent coward boys to ask for foodstuffs, they neglected them. But wife of Brahmanas rejected their husbands, left their husbands without their fear. They went in forest and fed Krishna Balaram. Therefore, it is sung, Jaya Duja Patni Jaya Naga Patni Gan, Bhakti Te Jahar Paila Govinda Charan. That they are so great that they left everything, even their husbands, for the satisfaction of Lord Krishna. So like that, Rishabdev instructed his sons, and his sons practiced the path of religion, and Rishabdev retired and he became an Avadhuta. Avadhuta means he didn't wear any clothes and he was oblivious to external surroundings. He just used to roam without any concern for worldly people. He would just focus on his meditation on the Lord. Initially, people were criticizing him. They were making fun of him. Children would run behind him. Some people would throw stones on him. But when he saw the genuine devotion in Rishabdev, they became his followers. So we should also understand that when we will practice Krishna consciousness, many times our relatives will make fun of us. Many times our friend will forsake us. But when they see the sincerity of our intention and dedication, they eventually appreciate and eventually they also start to follow. So thousands and lakhs of people started to follow Lord Rishabdev. There was one king. He thought that, oh, this is a nice idea. If you roam naked, so many people will become your follower. So he started to imitate Lord Rishabdev. But nobody followed him. Why? Because Lord Rishabdev was divine personality, whereas this king was simply an imitation. From stool of Rishabdev, fragrance used to come for many miles. Prabhupada wrote in purport that if you really want to imitate Lord, first make your stool fragrant. Nobody can do that. If your stool still stinks, then be confident that you are not God. So like that, Lord Rishabdev was roaming around, and then finally he come to a forest, and there was a forest fire, and he chose to leave his body in that forest fire. Now, eldest son of Rishabdev was Bharat Maharaj. He became the king. Bharat Maharaj was such a big emperor of the whole world, Chakravarti Samrat. He was not only the ruler of the earth, not only the land, but also oceans. Not only of human beings, but all animals obeyed instruction of Bharat Maharaj. But as he wanted to surrender himself to the Supreme Lord, Uttam Shlok Lalasa, he had that lalasa, he had that desire to surrender himself to the Lord. He left his kingdom, wife, children, everybody like Malavat. Malavat means just like we respond to a nature's call, and when we finish our job, we just leave toilet and come out. We don't wait there and just see the scene, no. In the same way, Bharat Maharaj just left everything behind, just like Malavat, and he surrendered himself completely to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he started living like a mendicant in the forest. His level of devotional service increased day by day. He crossed the stages of Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, and he came to the level of Bhav. In the stage of Bhav, as soon as he would chant the holy name of Lord, tears would flow from his eyes. All hairs would stand on end. His throat would become choked. His whole body would become white. In that state, he would remember the Lord 24 hours a day. One day, as he was chanting the holy name, he saw that a lion is chasing a deer. And as this lion was chasing the deer, this mother deer was pregnant and she jumped over a stream of water to save herself. She was saved from tiger, but as she jumped, she gave birth to the baby deer and she died. Bharat Maharaj saw this scene. He became compassionate. He thought that who will take care of this deer? Poor deer, she just took birth and mother died. So Bharat Maharaj picked that deer. He cleansed the deer with water of the stream flowing in front of his ashram. He brought deer back to his ashram, gave him some warm covering, fed him some green grass. And like that, he was nurturing the deer. As he was taking care of deer, he was also doing his devotional service, which was perfect. Problem started when this deer started to grow. And as this deer was growing, Bharat Maharaj became more and more attached to the deer. When Bharat Maharaj used to chant holy name, this deer would come and put his head on his lap. And he starts to lick body of Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj would open his eyes and see the deer and start to pet the deer. So much so that slowly he reduced his chanting, he reduced his devotional service, and he gave more attention to the deer. At one point, he stopped everything and he was just serving the deer. He would feed him, he would cleanse him, he would take his one legs and clean it from bottom. Everything. He was taking care of this deer like his own son. Mind you, he left his sons in the palace. He left his wife in the palace. And he came to the forest to become detached and meditate on the Lord. But here, he became attached to deer. This is termed as misplaced compassion. Even after going to that level of bhav, becoming attached to a deer, we may laugh on this example, but we all have this deer in our life in some or other form. Some may be attached to their family, some may be attached to their house, some may be attached to their own body, to some clothes, to some mobile phones, some sports, some media, some cinema. Anything can be dear in our life. And if they are obstructing, if these attachments are obstructing us in our Krishna consciousness, then it's really a serious problem. So even compassion can be a bondage. Somebody may say that Bharat Maharaj is just compassionate, but even compassion can be bondage. At no stage somebody is safe in material world. See, we saw in previous canto example of Daksha. Daksha, his mistake was hatred. And here Bharat Maharaj's problem was compassion, which are opposite to each other. Hatred and love are opposite to each other. But hatred can become a problem, love and attachment can become a problem. So how to live in this material world? Somebody may say that everywhere it is problems. How to save oneself in material world? We need devotee association. Without devotee association, it's always risky in this material world. Anytime we can get deviated, anytime. Prabhupada used to say that somebody thinks he can practice Krishna consciousness alone, he is crazy. It's impossible. Nobody can practice Krishna consciousness alone. Krishna bhakti janma moola hai sadhu sangha. Krishna prema janme teho punah mukhya anga. Krishna bhakti janma mool. In devotee association, Krishna bhakti takes birth. We revive our Krishna consciousness in devotee association. But that doesn't mean that's it. Now we can practice on our own. No. Krishna prema janme teho punah mukhya anga. Even if you get Krishna prem, even if you perfect your devotional service, then also sadhu sangha remains as the most important factor in devotional service. So even from initial state to perfected stage, one needs devotee association throughout. Otherwise, one can become attached very easily. Whatever we are attached to, that thought will come at the time of death. We should remind it ourselves every day. Are we becoming attached to any material object? Are we getting attached to any other living entity? That attachment will come at the time of death. So we can be compassionate, but we can't be attached. Our attachment should only be with Krishna. And in relation to Krishna, we can take care of others. That is not a problem. But if we keep Krishna aside and give others more priority than Krishna, serious problem. So Bharat Maharaj left his practice of sadhana and he used to take care of deer. He used to think, who will take care of this deer if I will not take care? This is another illusion. We think that if we will not be there, who will take care of family members? Who will take care of our relatives? Who will take care of our dependents? This world, reality of this world is anybody can be replaced. Sad reality. We can be replaced anytime. But Bharat Maharaj was thinking that this deer is dependent on me. There is Tuma bina ke ache amar. We sing this to Lord, that Lord, without you, who is mine? The deer was thinking, without me, who is yours? He was so attached to the deer. This is Durashraya. Prahlad Maharaj said, this is false shelter. If we really have to take shelter, we have to take shelter of Lord. What is false shelter? Sometimes we take shelter in our subjects. Suppose a preacher is preaching to 20 people. He becomes so attached to them that he starts offending other devotees. He starts offending his god brothers. He starts to reject the instruction of authorities. For whom? For mere group of 20 people. This is Durashraya. See, all people who are dependent on you are like taking water from the well. But Krishna is like recharging that well. If you cut your connection with earth, how long you will give water? How long you will give it to others? So our source of inspiration, our source of enlightenment comes from Krishna through Parampara. And if we are nicely connected with that, we can enrich others as well. Otherwise, we can't help others. See, whenever there is problem on earth, earth takes in the form of cow and he goes to Lord Brahma. But Brahma is so honest. Brahma doesn't say that I will solve a problem. Brahma said, I cannot solve a problem, but I can take you to Lord Vishnu. This should be our attitude. We help others, but we should be honest that we can't help you. We can connect you to Krishna. That is the biggest help. So Bharat Maharaj was so attached to deer. He started to live his life centered around the deer. But one day what happened? As Bharat Maharaj went to take bath, a herd of deer came and this deer joined them and left. Bharat Maharaj came back and he saw the deer is not there. He started to search him here and there. He started to cry. He started to lament. And he started to tell like a madman that, my dear, without you, my life is shunyaitam jagat sarvam, dear virahename. He was like speaking like gopis. Like Gopi Geet, gopis are praying to Krishna, that Krishna, without you, our life is vacant. And without you, this Vrindavan, this land of Vrindavan is unfortunate. This land of Vrindavan became fortunate when you touched your feet to this land. Jayati Tedikam Janmana Vraja. When you took appearance in this Vraja, this land of Vrindavan became opulent. In the same way, Bharat Maharaj was telling for deer that, this earth is special because my deer is walking on it. Now this deer is not there, earth became unfortunate. Look at the attachment. Therefore, devotee association is very, very important. Imagine there would have another devotee with Bharat Maharaj. He would have told that, my dear Prabhu, you are in Maya. But there was nobody. And Bharat Maharaj started to follow the footsteps of deer. He was searching deer day and night. And one day he fell into one ditch. Remembering deer, he left his body. As a result, in next life, he became deer. So we should be very, very particular that we should have proper devotee association. Devotees will save us from all these dangers. We can't see our own mistake. This is the reality. We can't see. Nobody can see his own mistake. But devotees can tell you, Prabhu, you are doing this mistake. Therefore, whenever two devotees meet, there should be Krishna sharing. Sometimes devotee association also become like a club, like social meeting. Our Guru Maharaj used to say that no, ISKCON is not a club. ISKCON is a serious business. It's for the exchange of Krishna. It is for helping each other in the devotional service. So like that, we should be very, very particular that we take devotee association seriously. Now in next life, when Bharat Maharaj becomes deer, he remembers his past life. And he realizes his mistake, that because of my attachment, I am into this condition. So he was very cautious. He didn't eat green grass. He thought it will be sense gratification. So he would only eat dry grass. And he would only live around the hermitage of the sages. He thought that I don't want to take second risk. We can make mistakes, but we should rectify them. Bharat Maharaj did that. And then in third life, after he left the deer body, because he was associating with sadhus, in next life he became Jad Bharat. Jad Bharat because he acted like a madman. He acted like a dumb and deaf person. So his father was a Brahmana, and he thought that I should instruct my son Jad Bharat. But no matter how much he tried, this Jad Bharat didn't accept any teaching from his father. Bharat Maharaj thought that enough of these attachments now. I don't want to be entangled further. So he was acting as if he is dumb, as if he is deaf. No matter family would have tell him so many things, he would never accept them. So his brothers thought that he is good for nothing. Let us do one thing. We'll put him in our farm. In farm, they put this, what they call? We call in Hindi bijuka. In English, what do you call? I don't know. To scare the crows, they put one dummy, scarecrow only, no? His name. So you put a dummy, man in the farm. So these family members thought that no need of this scarecrow. Put the Jad Bharat in farm. He will stand there and the birds will not come. So Jad Bharat was just standing there. But Jad Bharat was so detached, when birds would come, he would let them eat the crop. He said, I don't want to stop anybody now. No deer, no bird, nothing. I don't want to get attached. So in night time, some dacoits were going around. And that day, it was Amavasya. So they wanted to offer one bali, sacrifice of human, to goddess Kali. Now, rule of bali is you have to search a man who is as good as animal. You can't just take anybody and give bali. So when they saw this Jad Bharat sitting in the night in the farm, and all these birds and other are coming animals, they're eating crop, they understood this person is dumb and deaf. He's good for nothing. Let us take him and offer in bali. So they caught Jad Bharat and took him. And Jad Bharat didn't retaliate also. He said, okay, let me finish my business in this world as soon as possible. Anyway, I want to leave this world and go back to Krishna. So he didn't retaliate. And these dacoits took Jad Bharat and they took in front of goddess Kali. They did a nice yajna. They offered nice foodstuffs to goddess Kali. And as they were prepared to give sacrifice of Jad Bharat's head to goddess Kali, he wanted to just kill Jad Bharat. Goddess Kali appeared from the deity. And she was so angry. She killed all these dacoits. These dacoits were goddess Kali's devotees, but she killed all the dacoits. People say that, oh, if you will not worship demigods, they will become angry. Yes, they will become angry on other demigod worshippers. For devotees, these demigods will come and facilitate. They will help these devotees. I think she is not happy. It's okay. So this Jad Bharat was saved by Kali, And then Jada Bharat took another course of his walk. He started to walk towards the north. Now there, one king was traveling in his palki, in his palanquin, and 4 persons were carrying him on palanquin. His name was King Rahugada. Now one of them became sick. Now 3 people cannot take the palanquin. So they were searching for somebody who can replace the 4th one. So they found the Jada Bharat walking. They said, "Can you help?" Jada Bharat was just dumb. He said, he just gave no reaction. So they took him and they said, "Okay, you just have to hold this and walk." Jada Bharat started to walk. But when there was some ants on the way, Jada Bharat would escape. He would avoid placing his foot on the ant. But that led to Palki to shake. So this Rahugana would get disturbed. Every time their ant come, Jada Bharat would escape, keeping his foot little here and there, and Palki would shake. Jada Bharat would get more disturbed. So what to do? Jada Bharat started to chastise. "Who is this fool? From where you caught him? He deserves punishment. He is just, an animal." And he started to criticize Jada Bharat like that. But then Jada Bharat spoke for the first time in his life. Jada Bharat said, "Who is fool? Are you telling to my body or to my soul? Because if you're telling to my body, doesn't matter because I am not body. And if you're telling to my soul, then you are wrong because soul is Satchidananda. Soul is all knowledgeable." So when Rahugana heard this, he came down of palanquin and he touched feet of Jada Bharat. He said, "This is not an ordinary person." Then Rahugana requested Jada Bharat, "Please guide me in devotional service." And Jada Bharat gave him nice instructions that how this material world is the cause of bondage. There is a nice chapter in Bhagavatam, Forest of Material Enjoyment. We have less time, but if you get chance, please read it. It's very important for, especially for Grihasthas, that how forest of material enjoyment, how this material world entangles us, how everybody is just making us more and more bound to this material world. But there is one hope. What is that one hope? Mahatpad Rajo Abhishekam. If we take shelter of pure devotees, not only shelter, he is saying, Rahugana is saying, Jada Bharat, that unless and until one bathes himself in the dust of the lotus feet of the devotees of Lord, one cannot get bhakti. So only hope to get bhakti, only hope to get rid of the material world is if we get association and mercy of pure devotees. See, Rahugana, he was sitting on palanquin. You know where he was going? He was going to hear Harikatha only. But his attitude was so arrogant. Until unless he didn't meet pure devotee like Jada Bharat, even Harikatha was not working. But when he got association of Jada Bharat, he got completely transformed. So we can't judge devotees externally. Externally, Jada Bharat was just like a madman, but he was the pure devotee of Lord. Prabhupada used to say that if you just realize who is sitting next to you, you will faint. Because anybody can be, incarnation of Brahma or incarnation of Shiva. We don't know. ISKCON is full of pure devotees. Like when Prabhupada went in the Indian embassy, in actually Indian passport office, to make passport for His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. They were not accepting that, oh, he's foreigner, we don't want to give Indian citizenship. You know what Prabhupada told? Prabhupada said, he is eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya. He should give him passport. And Maharaj was looking at Prabhupada, eternal associate? Me? Prabhupada said, yes, look at his name. John Gordon. John Gordon means Jan Gordhan. He is associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Similarly, when His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj was serving Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada wanted to give him sannyas. But some devotees objected. He said, they were big sannyasis, they were big leaders. They objected that Prabhupada is new boy and he's from a very aristocratic family and he's very beautiful, very handsome. Today you give him sannyas, tomorrow he'll go with, somebody what will happen? Prabhupada told, he was more advanced when he was born than you are now after taking sannyas. That was Prabhupada's statement. So we don't know who is at what level. We can't judge anybody externally. And neither we can imitate such great souls like Jad Bharat. We should do anusaran, not anukaran. We should follow, not imitate. Like one time, Srila Prabhupada was traveling and he was having a morning walk actually. And some devotees were there. And one dog was barking a lot. He was disturbing devotees. There was particular devotee Nanda Kumar Prabhu with Prabhupada, and he was trying to safeguard Prabhupada with this dog, from this dog. But this dog was not listening only. So what Prabhupada did, Prabhupada lifted his cane and he said, "Hut." Now this foreign dog first time heard Hindi, chastisement. And this dog was completely silent, and then devotees moved ahead. So Nand Kumar Prabhu noticed, yeah, this is the way to handle animals. So he noticed. But next time when they went to Vrindavan, he was cooking for Srila Prabhupada in Prabhupada's kitchen. And from window, one monkey came. So Nand Kumar Prabhu thought, yes, Prabhupada did like this, so I can also do like this. So he took his karchi and he said, "Hut." The bandar became so angry, he lifted one vessel and threw on Nand Kumar Prabhu. So Nand Kumar Prabhu became so depressed. He went to Prabhupada and he told the whole story. The Prabhupada, you told hut to dog, he became silent. Today I tried this, it didn't work. Prabhupada said, yes, therefore you should not imitate spiritual master. You should follow. It's not that everything will work every time. So we should follow, we should not imitate. Even if we want to imitate, we should imitate what they did in the initial years of Krishna consciousness. Like suppose Raghunath Das Goswami. In his perfect state, he was completely detached. He would drink little buttermilk, or in Jagannath Puri, he would pick up grains from the drain. But think how he started Krishna consciousness. So much opposition from parents. He would run, he would dedicate his life, live such austere life. If we are ready to practice that, then we can do bhajan also like Raghunath Das Goswami. Problem is we imitate the perfectional stage. We imitate how our spiritual master smiled, how he walked, but we don't want to imitate how he dedicated 40, 50 years in Prabhupada's movement. So even if we want to imitate, let us imitate from the day one, how our spiritual masters have practiced. So like that, this beautiful story of Bharat Maharaj and his 3 lives comes in 5th canto. And then there is elaborate description of 14 planetary systems. In Gita, Krishna says, "A Brahma Bhavana Loka Puna Avartino Arjuna Mamupette tu Konteya Punarjanmana Vidyate." These 14 planetary systems from Brahmaloka to Patal, these all are full of misery. And that same description is given in Bhagavatam in detail in 11 chapters. This description of Jambudvip and different dvipas, different lokas, how people live there, how their description, how the mountains are there. There are some rivers there of mango juice, and this mango juice comes on the shore, and when it dries, it doesn't become ampapad, it becomes jewels. So like that, there's some beautiful and fascinating stories you can read in 5th canto. 11 chapters are there. But the problem is, wherever you go, there is misery. This is the reality of material world. Suppose you go to a shop and they said that choose any dress. So you can choose your dress as you like. So somebody picks up a nice gown, or somebody may choose a gopi dress, somebody choose a sari, whatever you dress. And when you go to counter, there one big lady comes and he start to beat you. He said, "What is this? This is the rule of our shop. You wear any dress, but we will beat you as we want." In the same way, material world, you go to Brahmalok or you go to Patal, they're different dress, different species, but ultimately what we will get? Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. We'll get misery only. So like that, there are wonderful description of different planetary systems. And Sukadeva Goswami also tells, in each dvipa, there are devotees of Lord. Only one good thing in this material world, there's devotee association. And these devotees offer beautiful prayers to the Lord. So there is beautiful chapter, prayers offered to the Lord by residents of Jambudvip. Different residents offer different prayers. Like residents of heaven pray to Lord that, my dear Lord, there's so much distraction in heaven. There's so much sense gratification. Please give us human birth so that we can practice your devotional service. There's another place called Kim Purusha. Kim Purusha means place of monkeys. Kim Purusha. Kim means what? Purusha. They look like Purusha, but they're not Purusha. Somebody asked, what kind of Purusha? Therefore, their name became Kim Purusha. So they pray to Lord Ramchandra, headed by Hanuman. They said, Lord Ramchandra, you are the supreme personality of Godhead. You are not attached to anything in this world. You are the super soul of whole world. And yet you enact your pastimes as if you are separated from your wife. Like when Sita was taken by Ravan, Ramchandra was crying. And people say that, what kind of God is this? What to speak of people? Sati became confused. Sati told Lord Shiva, oh, you chant his name, Ram Ram Rameti. He's crying for his wife. What kind of God he is? Lord Shiva explained, no, no, don't judge him. He is Supreme Personality. No, no. What kind of God? He's crying for his wife. Lord Shiva said, okay, try yourself. Sati goes to test Lord Ram. Sati goes there taking form of Mother Sita. And she stands. She thinks that Lord Ram will see Sita and will become very happy. But when Lord Ramchandra sees Sati in the form of Sita, Lord Ramchandra asks, oh, how is Lord Shiva? Is everything okay at Kailash? Sati became so ashamed. Without replying, only she comes back. And Lord Shiva asks, so you tested? What happened? Sati told whole story. That time only Lord Shiva decided that since Sati took form of Lord Sita, who is like my mother, now I cannot take her as my wife. And then later on, Sati had to give up her body in Dakshayagya. So like that, even Lord Ramchandra's pastime, they are not just ordinary pastimes. You know, when Lord Ramchandra was going to Mithila, she went to this hermitage of Gautam Rishi, and there was this stone Lord Ramchandra touched with his feet, and that became Ahilya. So the sages in forest, they heard this story. They said, this is nice. We also want some wives. They will help us in our yagya, they will help us in our bhajan. So they all started to carve nice deity of stone. That when Lord Ramchandra will come, we will tell him, you touch these stones, and they all will become beautiful ladies, and we will marry them. So all sages started to carve deities out of stone. When Lord Ramchandra saw, oh my God, what is happening? You know, all they have left their home and they became mendicants, and now they want beautiful wives. So then Lord enacted this pastime, that Lord Sita was taken by by Ravan, and Lord was crying in separation of Sita. When this news spread in forest, oh, because of why we have to cry also? Okay, they all broke their deities. We don't want wife. We don't want to cry. So like that, Lord's pastimes are so special. And Lord, Hanuman was further praying to Lord that one cannot establish friendship with Supreme Lord on the basis of material qualities like high birth or very beautiful or eloquence or sharp intelligence, or somebody is in a superior race or born in a very good nation. None of these qualifications are actually prerequisite for friendship with the Lord. Otherwise, how it is possible that monkeys like us, uncivilized inhabitants of forests like us, we don't have high birth, we don't have any beauty, we are monkeys, we cannot speak like gentlemen, but then also Lord Ramchandra accepted us. This is his magnanimity. So whether one is demigod or demon, man or a creature other than man, animal, beast, bird, anybody, one should worship the Supreme Personality of God. Such nice description was given of Jambudvip. And then in the last chapters, Sukadeva Goswami describes about the hellish planetary systems. How if you do sinful activities, you have to suffer in hell. There are different hells where somebody is roasted, somebody is fried, and so many different, punishments are there. So we can read there in detail. After hearing this, Parikshit Maharaj became very concerned. See, he is a Vaishnava. He is having compassion on the fallen souls. So Parishit Maharaj started to tell Sukdev Goswami how punishment in hell will help. Because after one finishes punishment, he will again do sinful activity. Because his heart is not cleansed. It's like elephant bath. Elephant will take nice bath, but then he comes back and rolls in mud. So this material repentance will not work. Like in British time, there were so many snakes in Delhi. So British thought that how to solve the problem. So they thought our British people cannot handle snakes. Indians can only handle snakes. So they declared a price on if somebody will bring a dead snake, we'll give him price. But what villagers did, they thought that this is nice business. So they started to have farms for snakes. They were breeding more and more snakes, and they were killing one snake and getting price. So British thought that how snakes are increasing, so many snakes they are bringing, and we have to spend so much money. So they realized what they are doing in village. So they stopped price. They said no more price on dead snakes. So villagers became very angry. How they can stop price? They released all snakes in Delhi. This is called as Cobra effect. You try to solve one problem with another material solution, but problem increases. So Parishit Maharaj said that they will go to hell. They'll become more hard-hearted by punishment. When they come back to material nature, they will enjoy more. They will try to exploit material nature more. So what is the solution? Sukdev Goswami told, yes, you realize the main problem. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana. Only by devotional service, only by pure devotional service unto Lord Vasudev, your heart will get cleansed. And then the weeds of sinful action can be completely uprooted. How to do this bhakti? Only by serving the lotus feet of the Lord in the association of devotees. When we do that, Yamapash, Bhritas Chatad, Yamapash, the carriers of Yamaraj will not trouble you. So then Parishit Maharaj said, is it really possible that Yamaraj will also forgive such person who is doing sinful activities? Did that happen ever? Then Sukdev Goswami, yes, I have one special example of Ajamil. Ajamil was a son of a Brahmana. His father was such a pious person. But this Ajamil one day went to the forest to help his father, and he saw one Shudra associating with a prostitute. And by seeing that sight, Ajamil got affected. Although so many divine teachings which he learned from his father were coming in front of his eyes, but he was meditating on that sight again and again. Dhayato Vishaya Punsa Sangastesho Pajayat. Sanga Sanjayate Kaman, Kama Krodho Vijayate. So while he was meditating on that sight of Shudra and prostitute, he became so afflicted by the sense enjoyment. He went that prostitute and he brought prostitute to home. His father left and he started to loot people, kill people, plunder people to satisfy that prostitute. And with that prostitute, he had many children. And even at the age of 90, he was having lusty desires and he was satisfying that through that prostitute. So at the age of 90, he had last son named Narayan. Some sages were passing through his city, and that time Ajamil was not at home. This prostitute welcomed the sages, and the sages told that mother, only do us one favor, name your son as Narayan. So when the prostitute named this child as Narayan, because he was youngest, Ajamil became very attached to him. And day and night he would call Narayan, 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 Narayan. Agyat Sukriti. This is offenseless holy name. Like one of the explanations Jiva Goswami gives is, we sing Tava Kathamritam. He says, one more meaning of this is, Tava Katha Mritam. Means one who will chant, something will die. What will die? His desires for material enjoyment will die. Without his knowledge also. Although Ajamil was calling his son, but slowly he was getting purified. And when the time came for his death, 3 Yamdutas came and they wanted to capture Ajamil. By seeing Yamdutas, Ajamil became so terrified. He passed urine and stool on his bed. He was so terrified. And in that terror, he called help from his son. And he called loudly, Narayan. And as he called the Lord's name, 4 Vishnudutas came and they chastised Yamdutas. And they told Yamdutas to leave. Ajamil got a second chance. Then Ajamil went to Haridwar and he started practicing Krishna consciousness. But Prabhupada used to say, Ajamil got second chance, we may not get it. We should not depend for that. One time one college student was asked, what is your favorite character? He said Ajamil. Why Ajamil? See, whole life he did sense gratification and at end he went back to Godhead also. But Aja Amil. Aja means one is not born. Amil means you can't get another example like that. So he is very rare example. So Ajamil got this second chance. But these 3 Yamdutas who came, they became very confused. They went to Yamraj, great anger. Said, Yamraj, we thought you are the biggest authority in material world. But now we know that your term is over. Somebody else is ruling. Who is ruling? Narayan. Somebody called as Narayan. Yamraj became so happy that first time he's hearing Lord Narayan name from this Yamdutas. Like, suppose if a ISKCON devotee somehow goes to Yamraj and he sees Yamraj, Yamraj is a pure devotee. So ISKCON devotee has to do only one thing. You offer Dandvat to Yamraj, Vansha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu. When you offer to Dandvat, Yamraj will understand, yes, he is ISKCON devotee, you will release him. So Yamraj waits that somebody chants holy name of Lord, but nobody chant holy name in Yamlok. You see, Yamdutas were telling the story and Yamraj was intentionally asking, who came? Vishnuduta. Okay. Who they follow? Narayan. Acha Narayan. Whom they follow? Narayan. Again, he's insisting that Yamdutas take Lord Narayan's name. Then Yamraj instructs the glories of holy name. Yamraj tells Yamdutas that if somebody is chanting holy name, don't go near them. If somebody is applying tilak, don't go near them. If they wear beadbag, don't go near them. Then whom to bring? Those who never chanted Krishna's name, Jivva na bhakti bhagavad guna nama dheyam. Those who never smarati Krishna's lotus feet, who never remember Krishna's lotus feet, never chant his name, never take his prasad, bring them to me. Bring all such fools and rascals to me. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada focused that we should have big prasad distribution. We should have Rath Yatra so people see Lord Jagannath, so that Yamdutas will not trouble them. It's mass scale preaching. If people will not get this opportunity, Yamdutas will catch them and they have to suffer. So if we really want to help the world, we should preach Krishna consciousness. Whole world fear Yamdutas, but Yamdutas fear devotees of the Lord. Yad bhiveti swayam bhayam. So like that, Ajamil unconsciously chanted Lord's name. Imagine if we chant consciously, what will be the result? Ajamil was calling his son. If we really call Radha Shyam Sundar, what will be the result? Ajamil who chanted along with doing sinful activities. If we follow regulatory principles, lead a pure life, and then chant holy name, what will be the result? So like that, this wonderful example of Ajamil. And now time over. Huh? So we have 8 minutes. Let us see how much more we can finish. After that, there is description of Daksha's sons. Daksha was a Prajapati. His responsibility was to increase population. So he gave birth to 10,000 sons. But as these 10,000 sons were going to do austerities before they take to the kingdom, Narad met them. And Narad preached them about Krishna consciousness. And Narad Muni made all 10,000 sons brahmacharis. He said, you all go to Himalayas, become brahmacharis. They got convinced, they became brahmacharis. Daksha became very angry. He gave birth to another 1,000 sons. Now these 1,000 sons were also sent to do austerities before they get the kingdom. Narad Muni again met them. This time Narad Muni didn't preach much. Narad Muni told that, you had 10,000 elder brothers. Yes, we know. We have 10,000. You know where they are? Yeah, they are in Himalayas. So is it not a duty of younger brother to follow elder brother? Yes, it is duty. So you should also go there. They also became brahmacharis. And Narad was so happy. He himself came in front of Daksha. Daksha asked, so Narad Muni, what's going on? Narad Muni said, today my score is 11,000. What score? I made 11,000 brahmacharis. Acha, from where? From your house, your 11,000 sons. I made brahmachari. Daksha became very angry. He cursed Narad Muni that I curse you that you can't stay in one place for a long time. You have to roam around. Narad Muni said, this is a blessing. If I stay in one place, I can only preach few people. But if I travel all the time, I can preach many, many people. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada also used to say that I got the same curse. Just like Daksha cursed Narad Muni, parents of my disciples cursed me. Therefore, I also cannot stay in one place more than 3 days. So this is actually blessing for a sannyasi that he preaches traveling. So now Daksha thought that no more sons, let me give birth to daughters. Otherwise, again, Narad will make them brahmacharis. So Daksha then gave birth to daughters. And as we already discussed, Daksha had so many daughters. And then the last daughter was married to Lord Shiva. Here in Swarga, in heaven, Indra offended his spiritual master. Brihaspati is Indra's spiritual master. And he would come to heaven every day. So Indra became too much familiar with the spiritual master. This is again a risk. Ati parachayata avagya. Go close to spiritual master, but don't become familiar with him. So he didn't give proper respect to Brihaspati. As a result, his all powers were gone. He became completely powerless. So he went to Narad Muni and told, this is what happened. Narad Muni said that, okay, you have Vishwarup as your guru, and he will do sacrifice so that you will get your powers back. Now, this Vishwarupa was son of a Brahmana, but his mother was demon, from a demon family. So when he was doing a sacrifice, this Vishwarupa would do one offering for demigods and one offering for demons. So Indra caught him that he is doing secretly these offerings for demons also. So Indra killed Vishwarupa. Now look at it. One guru he offended verbally, mentally. One guru he physically only offended. He killed only. So what will happen? Indra lost his kingdom. Here, father of Vishwarup, Tushta, he thought that I should take revenge from Indra. So he did a big yajna and he wanted to have a living entity from yajna who can become Indra Shatru. So as he was offering the oblations in fire, he was chanting mantra. And as he was chanting mantra, he said, Indra Shatroho. This became little longer. So meaning changed. Instead of enemy of Indra, he said one who will killed by Indra. So from that yajna, Vritrasur came out. Although Vritrasur was so powerful, so big, so gigantic, so powerful, he captured the kingdom of heaven. He became the king of all planetary systems. And demigods were very much concerned what will happen. So they went to Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu said that make Vajra, make thunderbolt. And only by Vajra you can kill Vritrasur. Now how to make Vajra? You can make Vajra by the bones of sage Dadichi. So demigods went to Dadichi. And they said that this is the situation, we want your bones. So Dadichi was testing demigods. Dadichi said, no, how I'll give my body? I have to die to give you body. And demigods were preaching Dadichi. That, anyway, you are not body, you are soul. This material world is not a good place to live. You should give us our bones. And Dadiji was laughing. See, demigods were trying to protect their kingdom. They were not ready to give up their bodies. And they're telling Dadiji that material body is anyway going to die. You give up your body. So this is like, instructing others without ourselves following. And Dadiji agreed that, okay, my body, my life, everything is for Lord Vishnu's service. If he sent you, take my bones. So Dadishi left his body and they made Vajra. And taking this Vajra, Indra attacked Vritrasur. It was great fight ensued. Vritrasur started to fight. And as Vritrasur attacked Indra, from Indra's hand, Vajra fell. Now imagine Lord Vishnu sent Indra that from Vajra you can kill Vritrasur, and Vajra fell. Indra became completely discouraged, disappointed. He felt that I'll be killed now. Vritrasur started to inspire Indra. Indra, don't you have confidence in the words of Lord Vishnu? What kind of demigod you are? If Vishnu told I'll be killed by Vajra, pick up Vajra, attack me. You can kill me. Vritrasur inspired Indra. Then Indra took up Vajra and again started to attack. And then it took 365 days for Indra to cut Vritrasur's neck. It was so big. So, bhakti is such a big thing. Even a demon like Vritrasur was having so confident, so much faith in Lord. And then Vritrasur offers beautiful prayers to Krishna. These prayers are very, very important and potent. Before 10th canto, this is the most powerful prayers. Vritrasur says, Lord, aham hareta padaika mulo dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuya manasmareta shupatir gunanste grinita karma karotu kaya. He says, my Lord, if I get a next life, please give me opportunity to serve your devotees. That's all I want. I want shelter of your lotus feet. I want shelter of your devotees. Grinita vaka karma karotu kaya. My words, my activities, my body, let everything be engaged in your service only. And what kind of service? Nana kaprishtam na cha parameshtam na sarva bhomam na rasadipatyam na yoga siddhir na punarbhavam va samanjastva virahaya kamshe. Oh my Lord, I do not desire nanaka prishtam, na cha parameshtam. I don't want this earthly planet. I don't want swarga, na bhoma, na rasadipatyam. I don't want anything of this world. Na yoga siddhir. I don't want siddhis of yogis. If that is not making me closer to you, my Lord, I don't want anything. And how I am eager to come back to you? This is, suppose somebody is going to die. He's having this kind of consciousness. With this saying, I'm so anxious to come back to you. How? Ajat paksha iva mataram khaga stanyam yathavat shuddha artha priyam priyeva vishitam vishanna mano arvindakshadi drikshate tvam. Oh my Lord, just like small birds, baby birds, hungry birds, they wait for their mother to bring food. Just like a calf anxiously hankered to drink milk from the udder of mother cow. Just like a wife waits for her husband to return home. In the same way, I am waiting for you to meet you, my Lord. Mamuttama shloke janeshu sakhyam sansara chakre brahmitasma karbabhi tvanmayayatma jadadhara greheshu asakta chittasya nanath bhuya. Oh my Lord, therefore, as many as births I get, as many species I take birth in, please give me friendship of your devotees. If I have friendship of your devotees, Maya will not influence me. I will not be attached to any body, children, spouse, homes. I just want to come back to you. Such beauty. In 4 verses, he offers his whole heart to Krishna. And like that, he goes back to Godhead, and Indra remains in material world enjoying heaven. So our Acharya tells actually Indra didn't win. Vritrasur won. And Vritrasur went back to Godhead. So now further, Parishit Maharaj asked the history of Vritrasur that we will discuss tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Any questions? Any question? Any devotee have? Okay, Basanta Prabhu. Unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare.
I have no question, just I have one comment actually. प्रभु जी स्टार्टिंग, कैन आई स्पीक इन हिंदी वन लाइन?
हाँ, हिंदी में बोलो।
प्रभु जी जब आपने स्टार्टिंग में भागवतम शुरू में बताए थे कि एक अच्छे भक्त से प्रमाणिक भक्त से हमें सुनना चाहिए, भागवत भक्त से, तो हमें उसका एक अलग आनंद आता है। तो रियली प्रभु जी मैं फर्स्ट टाइम मतलब इतना डिटेल में अब समझ में आ रहा है कि बहुत ही आनंद आ रहा था, बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा था। बस इसे प्रैक्टिकली प्रयास करेंगे। आशीर्वाद दीजिए। Thank you so much.
Mercy of Srila Prabhupada that he made it available, and then through parampara we are getting this knowledge, and if we repeat it as it is, it will purify our heart, it will purify heart of others also.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam.
Dandat Pranam Prabhu. Yes.
Prabhu, I'm really thankful to you. You are giving such a nice and beautiful explanation of Srimad Bhagavatam. My question is, Prabhu, like how to read Bhagavatam in a steady manner on daily basis, because reading one shloka takes like it would take more than 13 years. So sometimes it happens that we don't find time and we think, okay, let us cover 10 shlokas today. And then
we are not after finishing the book. We just want to relish. Sukdev Goswami had one verse of Bhagavatam. Aho bakiyam sthana kalakutam. He became so attracted, he left everything and became pure devotee. So it's not that we have to read whole Bhagavatam for becoming pure devotee. No. At least we should start. Regularity is more important than quantity. If we regularly hear, that is important. So Nityam Bhagavad Seva. It never says that read for 20 hours. No. It says Nityam. If you can read one verse, fine. If it take 20 years, what is the problem? But this is the challenge, that who read every day, he will get such a taste that he will read more and more and more.
No, but sometimes what happens, like in certain shlokas, that rasa doesn't come. It's like you need to go through entire like fictions की तरह अगर हम इसको पढ़ें,
it's
तो
not
बहुत heavy knowledge, उतना गहन गूढ़.
This book is not fiction. This
नहीं,
book
Prabhu ji, I'm not saying it's fiction.
I got your point. I got your point.
Yeah.
I'm saying that this book is Krishna himself. The same verses which may not appear to be very interesting and rasa purna now will become full of rasa when Krishna will reveal. Same verses. This description of Jambudvipa may not be very relishing for us, but Parikshit was sitting there, hungry, thirsty, and he was relishing it. So we should pray in the feet of Parampara, that just like yesterday also we were discussing, just like we can't force Krishna to appear. Can we say that Krishna, you have to appear today? We can't do that. In the same way, we can't force Bhagavatam to become nectarian for us. We have to read it like a beggar. That I am a beggar. I want a mercy. Please become attractive to me. I have a jaundice of material nature that I am feeling Bhagavatam is not nectarian, or it may appear like that. Please show your beauty to me. Please show your rasa to me. See, with that prayer, if we read every day, every verse will be full of rasa.
Ji, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much for a nice explanation, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Any other question? Okay.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Prabhuji, thank you so much for the wonderful class and so beautifully describing all the pastimes of very elevated devotees. And Prabhuji, the way you said how Parikshit Maharaj was relishing, the same way we all are relishing this Bhagavatam from you. Thank you so much. So let us express our gratitude to Prabhuji by saying Hare Krishna Mahamantra and Vaishnava Pranam Mantra.
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
Kripa Sindhubhyo Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Srila
Santo
Prabhupada.
Devashanti Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Guru Maharaj.